You've got 2 weeks to make this cake and your time starts now. Hi everyone, it's Tash and welcome to another Wednesday recipe video. Mike is back, yes. And today we are making a Jamaican-style fruit cake for Christmas. Timestamps are down below in the description if you want to skip the initial blah blah, but stick around if you want to hear a little bit about what we're making first. I first made this many years ago in the style of a Jamaican black cake. There are lots of different ways to make it, but this is my take on it. With a Christmas twist, of course, because it is Christmas, nearly. And ideally you need 2 weeks to make this before you eat it. The first week to soak your dried fruits in a lot of booze, and then the second week to wrap the cake that you then make up with more booze and then leave it to mature. So by the time I post this, you still have enough time to make this cake before the big day. This cake isn't just for Christmas, by the way, it's just the way I'm styling it today. So with all that said, let's go to the kitchen and see how it's done. So 2 weeks ahead of making this cake, we've got to soak some fruit in some booze. And we're going to be using about 500 grams of dried fruit approximately. My mix, personally, is about 170 grams of prunes, which I've halved because these are quite chunky. 150 grams of sultanas, and sometimes I use a mix of sultanas and raisins. I couldn't actually find a mixed bag this time, so I just got sultanas. 100 grams of dried berries. Again, this time I couldn't find mixed dried berries, so I just got blueberries, nice and simple. And about 80 grams of glacé cherries, and these are halved. Now for the booze, I'm going to add in 400 millilitres of port. I actually got a couple of bottles on sale, which was very timely. Here's the second bottle, altogether that's 400 millilitres. And finally, 70 millilitres of dark rum. Phew, that is potent. I'm just going to give this a mix. And I'm just going to pop the lid on and you will see that this is an old ice cream container. I never throw these away, they always come in very handy. And now we're just going to leave this for a week at room temperature for all those lovely fruits to soak. It's been a week since we first soaked our fruits and now we're ready to bake. So let's preheat our oven. We're going to do so to 150 degrees. Now let's bring out our fruits and see what's going on. Oh, lovely, very plump. Now for this recipe we're going to blend half into a mush and leave half whole. So we have a little bit of smoothness, a little bit of chunkiness. Some people blend the whole lot, some people don't blend at all. But I like a half-half mix. Let's get our blending jug and I'm going to scoop roughly half in. And yes, by the way, we are keeping all that liquid in, we're not draining the fruits. So let's set this aside for a minute. And we're going to get blending. I'm just going to use my little hand stick blender here, nice and easy. Now let's make the cake batter. Here I have 230 grams of unsalted butter, which I've softened at room temperature. And I'm going to add 175 grams of dark brown soft sugar. You can use dark muscovado sugar as well, but I like it a tiny bit lighter, and dark brown soft sugar is a bit lighter, a bit less bitter. And I'm just going to beat these together. And now I'm going to crack in 4 eggs. Give this a whiz too. Now I'm also going to add 2 tablespoonfuls of black treacle. I'm just using my fruit spoon here. Sticky stuff. You can oil the spoon and that will make the treacle slip off the spoon a bit better. I'm just being a bit lazy. Now we're going to add 2 teaspoonfuls of vanilla. And a teaspoonful of almond extract. Lots of flavour in this thing. Whiz, whiz, whiz. Now let's add some dry ingredients. Here I have 225 grams of self-raising flour. And I'm going to add a good pinch of salt. And last but not least, 1 teaspoonful of ground cinnamon and half a teaspoonful of ground nutmeg. Now let's give this a whiz. Lovely. Now we're going to swap to a spatula, because now we're going to dump in our smushed fruits, our whole fruits, and also 80 grams of blanched almonds. And I'm just going to give these a stir through. Wow, that is a lot of cake. Now here I have a 9-inch tin which I have buttered very well so it won't stick. I've also lined the bottom with some non-stick baking paper, and I'm going to dump the whole thing in. Oh, this bowl is heavy. I'm just going to give it a few taps on the counter to bash out any big air bubbles in there. And now we have to bake this for quite a long time. It bakes very slowly in our slightly cool oven. It's only 150 degrees C. And maybe about 1 hour through, I'm going to cover it with some foil so the top doesn't burn. So I will show you that in a minute. So bake it for an hour first, cover it with some foil so it doesn't burn, and then keep baking for another hour. It's been 1 hour, as you can see, we're getting puffy. All I'm going to do is that. Be careful with your hands, by the way, it's super hot. Just tented that over. And we're going to cook it for another, let's say another full hour. Oh, here we go. She's still heavy. Don't worry about the cracking, that does settle down. And just to test that our cake is completely cooked all the way through, I'm going to take this toothpick. A skewer is better because it's longer. I'm going to jam it right in the middle, all the way down. And it's clean, so that is cooked. Right, now we need to let this cool down completely. The last time I made this, it actually took all night to cool down because this is a dense cake. So let's see how it goes, and we're not quite done yet. We still need to wait another week, but I will show you why in a sec. So this isn't completely cool yet, it's still a tiny bit warm. For this next part I usually wait until the cake is completely cool, but you can wait until it's a tiny bit warm. I'm going to add some more booze. A lot of the alcohol would have cooked off actually during the cooking process. Not all of it, still a bit boozy, but some of the strong stuff has been cooked off. We're going to add a little more. This is a mix of 50 millilitres of Tia Maria and 50 millilitres more dark rum, and we're going to brush a little bit of this, not all of it, just a bit, over the tops and sides, just to get it absorbing. There we go, I only used about a third of it. I'm just going to cover this up now so it doesn't evaporate off. And I will now let this cool down until it's completely cool. Our cake is now completely cool, and I've set up some layers here. I've got a layer on the bottom of cling film and one on the top of foil. There is going to be an extra layer there, but first let's free our cake. Let's bring it over here, because it's a springform pan. Pretty easy to do. I'm just going to move this out of the way though, because we need our extra layer. And all we're going to do for our extra layer is take the rest of our Tia Maria and rum mixture, take a muslin cloth, and we're going to dump it in. Lovely. Right, now I've got a nice soaked cloth. I'm going to squeeze it a little bit so it's not dripping rather, but don't throw that away because we will use it in a minute. I'm going to lay this cloth out. I'm going to place our cake in the middle. Let's just, flip it over. That's the easiest way to do it. And I'm going to cover it with our boozy cloth. And remember that extra booze? Yep, you guessed it. Now I've got some extra foil, I'm going to pop that on the top. And I'm just going to fold this up, and then we're going to finish with our cling film layer. And now the hardest part of all, we have to put this away, preferably somewhere dark and cool, and we need to wait for a whole week for all of those flavours to meld together. And don't worry about it going off, there is so much alcohol in there, nothing can survive. So I will see you in a week. It's been a week, but before we unwrap our cake, it's time to make the marzipan. First, I'm going to add 200 grams of ground almonds to my food processor. Then I'm going to add 100 grams of icing sugar. Then I'm going to add about a teaspoonful of almond extract. I never use the essence because I think it tastes a bit funny. Lid on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pulse the food processor while adding a bit of water bit by bit. I've got 3 tablespoonfuls here. We might not need all of it, and we don't want to over mix it because the more we mix it, the more the oils are going to come out and the gooier this marzipan will be. And we want it to be like Play-Doh, so not too wet, not too much water, not too much mixing. And as soon as it starts to become a ball like this, it becomes a nice big ball. Let me give it one more pulse. That will do. Now I'm going to test the texture of it. Let's take a little bit off. Oh, that looks good. And yep, that is perfect. If you can roll it into a ball and it's not too sticky, it is ready. I am so excited for this part. Let's unwrap our cake. If I can find where the cling film begins and ends. Oh, that looks beautiful. Okay, I'm going to put this on the serving dish now. This I'll give a good wash. Let's bring over the cake so you can see. Oh, she looks stunning. Right, let's set this aside for now because we need to roll out our marzipan. I'm going to sprinkle just a little bit of icing sugar on a work surface. Take our marzipan and plop it on top. Actually, I'm going to coat both sides. And we're going to roll it out into a nice thin disc. And now to get the right size, we're actually going to lay this original tin on top, well, this way down, to make an imprint. But first I'm going to top it with a bit more paper just so we don't make a mess. We're going to put the tin on top. And I'm just going to lightly press down so I can see the edge of the pan. I'm not doing it the other way around because the bottom is actually wider for this one. That's looking promising. Let's just get rid of this top layer. And we can indeed see the indents. I'm just going to take a little knife and run it around that edge. Don't throw them away, definitely, you can just eat this. And we're literally just going to lay this over, nice and easy. Lovely, perfect. Now, of course, we need to dust the top with icing sugar for that snow flurry. And now I'm going to make a couple of little festive decorations with our leftover marzipan. All I did was split the leftover marzipan in 2 roughly, and then I just dyed them with food colouring, used some red, used some green, and I made some holly leaves and berries, and I just hand shaped them. I don't have any festive cutters or moulds, so hand shaping it is. You know what, I think 1 is plenty. I'm just going to eat the rest. Have you ever seen anything more Christmassy? Well, probably the answer is yes, but this is quite Christmassy and I'm so happy that I only did 1. Too many would have been overkill, and 1 holly is perfect. And look at the cross section of this cake, packed full of fruits and nuts. Cheers! That is a beautiful cake. So there you go, Jamaican-style fruit cake for Christmas. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's recipe video, and I hope you will join me next Wednesday for my next one. Get the full written recipe on my blog tashcakes.com, follow me on Instagram, I'm tashcakes.tastes, and find me on TikTok too, I'm tashcakes there too, but my handle is food in slow motion. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more, give this video a like if you liked it to help other people find it. Comment down below if you'd like me to make anything in particular, and I will see you all next time. Be good, be nice, and have a good week. I used the setting spray for the first time, by the way. What do you think? Too shiny or just right?